Hi, it's us.
Oh, what's your name?
Liz Glazer.
And I'm Gilberto Soto. And together we
We're
are straight.
straight.
Oh, we got it good. Lady just hit on me coming up this elevator.
Really?
Yes. And now I'm like,
So she's at work.
she's at work.
Do you think you're going to do it?
I don't know, but I'm like, am I straight? Like,
No.
together we need to find out, am I actually straight?
Wait, so was she cute?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the thing.
Yeah.
So in this podcast thing, I think the last time I was here,
Yeah.
I was trying to get up and then she came in and whatever. Like, I was like, oh, like.
Oh, you know her from before.
Well, yeah. So this is the thing.
You have
like,
history.
we have history.
Okay.
And so I rode up the elevator with her and then, I did a little like, oh, do you recognize me? And she goes, no. And I was like, well, you should. Like,
Oh, God.
she
You
goes,
hit on her.
Yeah, I hit on her.
She's in another office in her podcast studio being like, this gay guy hit on me.
Well, she probably doesn't think I'm gay. Okay.
Roberto.
I'm interested. Yeah, it's probably true. But today, I was trying to get in, and then she walks out, and she goes, what did she say? She goes, oh, I see, I recognize you now. Like
Oh
that.
my God.
Like that. And I go, I was like, oh my God, you did the elevator with me, or you were on the elevator. She goes, yeah. She's like, I don't forget you. And I go, can I just say?
Did you do it like that? Because if you did, she knows.
In my mind, no, I was really like pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
But in my mind, I'm like, wait, when women hit on somebody,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Well, it can be.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, this story is reminding me, just because you said it that way.
Yeah.
I did a show a couple of weeks ago, and I get on stage, and there's a woman in a group, like bachelorette party style, not literally, but like that vibe, which exactly. And she's like, in the mix and staring at me like, what is it like? Like, I guess like she wants to have sex with me. Is what it would be. It's been a while since I've experienced that. And no, I'm kidding. But anyway, so she's like staring right at me, like through me.
Yeah.
And then she starts heckling, which obviously is annoying. But then, and that I can deal with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to whatever degree, depending on the night, depending on the person, whatever. I mean, yes, I think that it's a skill, but like, I don't know what people's like averages are. You know?
I mean, my average is 1 now.
Of heckler?
Of being hit on.
women.
Oh, yeah.
You
of
have
women hitting
not
on me.
interpreted my advances this whole time. But so she says at some point, as part of her heckles, she's like, I'm hitting on you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't remember. I mean, obviously I have the tape or whatever, but like I could like watch it back. But like that is whatever. And I do believe I diffused that. I said something, relatively witty in response that like got a laugh. But what was so distracting about it was she didn't stop the complete just staring the whole time.
When a woman wants you, as I've known now, she's going to get you. Yeah.
Well, I think that's accurate. And obviously there's like differences among women. Not everybody's the same, blah, 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 but they are.
I didn't feel threatened. I felt very complimented.
Yeah.
I felt very like something inside of me went, oh.
Yeah.
And then went right back.
Right.
But for that one moment, I'm like, because when men like hit on anybody, I guess it's kind of creepy. Not for me. Anyone can hit on me. But it's just a different level. Yeah. And it wasn't like a cutesy one. It was like I think I find you attractive.
Right. Like she was intense about it.
Yeah, she was intense. She's probably never done a gay guy before. And like, who am I to tell her no?
Wow.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
so
I'll see her again.
Yeah, I think you probably will. To next week.
Together we could be straight. No. Can we talk about bachelorette parties though? I think we need to figure out. This is just me.
Okay.
Like better places for bachelorette parties to go to, because they
the
give
library, the dentist's
because if
office.
there's one thing they
They're
do is quiet.
Yeah,
but just like,
but a library is a place that it's supposed to be quiet, but that's the funnest place to be loud.
Oh, true.
So they should go there.
Man, my old librarian.
Yeah.
Can I just
Yes.
So shout out to my librarian. I'm spacing on her name now.
Okay.
But she was really the MVP.
We called the one at our school Blub Blub.
Blah, blah. Okay, that doesn't
because
sound
the way that
nice.
it wasn't. We were in high school. I mean, that
sounds horrible.
It's so mean. And the thing is, like, a lot of like junior high and high school nicknames, you know, like they're shameful because they're mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't just because she was sort of a blob, but whatever, fine. Like, did we body shame her? Probably, but we also didn't.
Blub, yes.
No,
yeah,
but it wasn't.
Did we?
It wasn't
yes.
mostly because of her body shape. I'm not saying it didn't factor in.
Yeah.
Were she, you know, like, I don't know, Pamela Anderson, we probably wouldn't have called her Blub Blub.
Not, no.
That said,
you would call her the showgirl.
the reason we did was like at least 50% because of her voice, and her voice sounded like she was underwater, and so she was like, "Excuse me, but you have to be quiet in the library."
That reminds me of the lady from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, what do they call her?
Miss Peach? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the pufferfish.
Sure.
Okay. Anyways, you know what I mean.
She's based on Blub Blub.
maybe that's
it's possible.
But okay, so actually, my librarian.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about my community librarian, from Moxie, Washington. Shout out.
Yeah.
There was a community librarian, Moxie, Moxee. I know, interesting.
Huh.
It was that community librarian. She also had a weird voice, but I think that was something to do medically or something.
It must
like that.
be a thing for librarians because they don't talk all day, so then they don't get the practice.
But I think it was, I want to remember her name. Anyways, she was a saint. Can I just talk about that? Yeah. Because so I didn't have access to like computers and things like that because you know, poor, whatever.
Yeah.
But the way for me to get access originally to computers and stuff was the community library. Right. And you would have to go in there and you would have to reserve time.
Sure.
And they would give you like 30 minutes or an hour on certain computers. And she would also like help us with our homework. Oh. So she would help us a lot with our homework and do everything like that. And like it's kind of weird now that I think about it because like as like, I don't know, 10 years old, I was like begging my parents to let me go to the community library. Isn't that weird?
It's
like,
adorable.
How many kids now beg their parents to go to a library?
Zero.
But not because I wanted to read, but because I needed help with my homework and needed to use the computer. But she taught me everything I needed to know about computers.
How to search for porn.
That's my punchline to that joke.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. That means it's predictable.
Well, I mean,
she's like, she taught me how to use valuable things, like how to search for gay porn.
Well, and then there could be a fun twist of like, you know, maybe you're looking for somebody who looks like me or, you know, whatever. Oh, yeah. That's the mark of a real saint.
She is great in that. Yeah. Like, I forget her name. But anyways, but she helped out. She helped out so many like Latino kids because that's predominant. It was she's great. I don't think she's probably alive anymore, but if she is, I'm sorry, but I love her. Yeah.
That's so nice.
But she would. Oh, why I'm bringing this up because she would always tell us to shut up or we're too loud.
Right.
And she would get really frustrated. Okay. But we would egg it on. Do you know what I mean? Because you're children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she really like when you think about community. Yeah. Like, that's what I think about community, like really helping out the community.
Well, I think of a bachelorette party. That's the kind of community that I'm into. Yeah.
But I'm glad you punched up that joke. Let me tell you.
You're welcome. I mean, I don't know, you know, whatever.
Because I did TikTok live. Okay. For the first time.
Oh.
This week.
That's fun. Was it fun?
It was awkward and then it got really fun. I cried.
Oh. You did?
I cried.
About what?
It was a whirlwind of emotions. Well, you know, just because I went on.
Okay.
And I was like, hey,
I literally never opened TikTok.
Oh,
I have to remember.
You have to, because I have so many videos of you up there. Okay. We should do a TikTok live one day.
All right, fine.
Yeah. And like all of my fans, 3 of them joined and they were like, and then more and more people joined. And then I bullied people to like follow me on TikTok because people were commenting on the live, but not following me, which is kind of awkward.
Very.
But then somebody mentioned like that. I was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And they're like, "California." And I was like, "Oh, how's it over there?" Like, "Oh, the raids are happening."
Oh, yeah.
And then that got me emotional because I remember growing up, like I grew up in a really immigrant town, obviously. And like some days we would wake up and like we would get calls from home being like La Migra's in town, ICE. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, my parents were fine because, you know, they're of legal status here. But usually what that meant was that ICE was raiding like places where immigrants would work, right? Like bodegas or the fields and shit like that. And so then what would happen is usually that night we knew somebody who got deported or got caught. So we'd have to go to their house at night and like support their family somehow. Like, you know, you see these children, they don't have a mom or they don't have a dad. And that got really like sad.
So what would happen?
I don't know. They just, I mean, depends.
But would you know these people?
Yeah.
Like,
there'd
so
be like
you
family
knew people
friends.
who
yeah.
their parents just left?
All the time, yeah.
Wow.
Like
and so
family,
then
friends,
what happened
our
to
family.
what happened to the kids?
Well, they would have usually one more parent.
Okay.
And if they didn't, like, I don't know, they would go to like an uncle's house or something like that.
Wow.
So anyways, that's why I got emotional.
Yeah.
And then on that time, then I got, you know, on TikTok Live, somebody put up the little cowboy hat on me. You know how they can give you like mustache or cowboy hats or like
I can
roses.
imagine. Yeah.
And I got like so overwhelmed because I was like, I've always wanted somebody to do this because they have to pay for that, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw a guy's name, Jesus Sanchez, and I was like, oh my God, that could be my cousin, right? Because Jesus Sanchez. And it was.
Oh, that's nice.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
He's like, it's Chiquilín. I would go, oh my God.
Oh, that's
Anyways,
really nice.
10 out of 10 recommend TikTok Lives.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that for sure.
Or Instagram Lives. I mean, I don't want to hate, but I just like TikTok. Right. TikTok seems much more of like a wild, wild west feeling.
Okay, got it.
Instagram feels too official.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
Sure.
You don't care.
Well, I just don't. It's just not within my like immediate cultural fabric, I think.
Cultural fabric.
No, I'm just being real about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to be like, I'm 1,000 and I can't like turn on a computer, because that's not it. But I do think that, like, given I'm 45, and I think that, like, I don't know, I'm not trying to be an old person, but I'm just saying realistically, it doesn't feel like 100% natural to me. Like, here's the thing. Okay. My daughter, she's 1 year and 8 months old. Okay. Very,
who's counting?
Very, her app that tells us. And, but she is very young. You know, she's my youngest.
Imagine if she thinks to herself, oh, I'm getting so old.
I know. But so she is very good naturally. And people say this about kids and babies at the phone. And she like only knows of a phone because she's grabbed it from me
and starts
like
learning.
But the things that she's able to do just with her fingers are like, I'm like, I didn't know that you could do that. And like, you know, just moving the circle into a circle. Like, there's so many things like that I'm like, I literally never thought to press it that way. And she does, probably because this phone was designed by a baby.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, can I give her my phone and she can tell me everything that I've not done before?
Well, it's
the iPhone hacks?
Yeah, right. And that's the thing is, like, I've heard people talk about this with reference to a child who's like verbal and like gets some stuff. Like, she's a baby. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's wild that I think about these type of things.
Yeah. But like, you know, like she was doing a thing where I did this as a joke that's on tape somewhere before, where she was able to like change the lock screen picture on my phone, which is always like her in some way, to a younger picture of her where she's like fewer wrinkles or, you know, whatever. But she really did that.
She's like, oh, my goal weight.
Yeah, totally. So like she knows how to do that, but it's, and you know, filters, you can put like filters on like the lock screen photo.
She's your community librarian. She's showing you how to use technology.
She is.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, so the reason I say this is like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm an old person, so I don't open TikTok. I'm just being honest about what does and doesn't come naturally to me. Yeah. And like, I literally forget that it's on my phone, you know, for whatever reason. Like the interface, I don't think,
which
whatever
is not
they're
a daily
doing,
habit of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it should be. It sucks you in.
Really?
It sucks you in.
I mean, and I'm not saying this like Instagram doesn't. You know, I can be on Instagram for a good long while, but like, I guess, I mean, I try to be pretty conscious of it, but like, I'm not our couples therapist, for example. Shout out to Kim. She's amazing.
Yeah, she sounds it.
Well, she is, because we only have ever seen her on Zoom.
Oh my gosh.
That said, we talk about her outfit. She is magnificent. Like,
how do you see her outfit? Like, usually it's like geared up.
Literally, she could be like wearing the skirts that Blub Blub would wear in the library on the bottom.
Not Blub
and
Blub.
We have no idea. But from here, like, she is so elegant and magnificent that she makes the the cord from her headphone, like that she's using for Zoom, look stylish. Okay. Oof. She's amazing. Oof. We love her.
Yeah. She sounds like a very much therapy vibe.
It's everything I've always wanted in a couples therapist. Like my actual therapist is perfect, as we know. And my
Do you think it's too much therapy? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, of course. I think about it every Tuesday, if not more. But here's the thing is like, it is like, okay, I have never been someone who has maintained a level of fitness that I enjoy for any that long period of time. Yeah. But I've wanted to be. And what I think about whenever I'm like thinking towards that is like those people like you, I don't know, you know, like you go to the gym.
I try.
No matter what.
Well, body dysmorphia does that to you.
Okay. Well,
Thank
I'm
God
sorry.
We're being gay. Seriously.
See, you are. So that's why you shouldn't go for the girl in the elevator, because then you'll get fat. So
I'll stop trying.
I love how much body shaming there is in this episode.
Know.
It's just like body negativity.
And we're kind of body positive outwardly.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, of course. No, I mean it that way. But yeah. So, but so I've never been that person of just like, of course I go to the gym. No, I don't. I go to the gym. There's a wonderful comedian, Andrew Caudill from LA, who had the most amazing. Yeah, it's been if he even sees this, he'll be like, wait, she knows my name. Like we're friends from open mics. I don't know. I just feel like
I unfriended her.
Exactly. Like he blocked me on TikTok. Meanwhile, I'm like, I've never been on it. But anyway, so he had this joke years ago. It's probably like 2017 or 18. And I don't know that he still does it anymore, but it was like, you know, that he runs because he hates his body in effect. And like, it's like he'll take a run, go for a run, and then come back and be like, is it off yet? And it was so good because like the emotional reality of that was so resonant to me, and I always feel that way. And I don't.
Such a good word.
It's thank you.
Yeah.
I don't even know which one you were talking about. I'm guessing resonant, but I'm like, yeah, honestly, I took my magic mind, and I do think that it helps me to like order words well. Yeah.
Does that work?
I think so. Listen, if you want to sponsor us, we're open. I use it anyway.
Oh my God, definitely, because I want to try it.
Oh, I'll bring you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have like a whole box in my house.
Okay, I want to try it.
And when they sponsor us, we're going to have boxes and boxes. You know? I mean, they do. I learned about it from a podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I think it was Pete Holmes.
Okay, I don't know.
You know, he's like, who? I'm just thinking, like, because I said Andrew Caudill, and that was a callback.
Can I ask you a question?
Not well, yeah.
Okay, so you're 45, as we established.
Yeah.
And I'm not 45.
Okay.
I'm like 34, almost 35, Aries.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
I often wonder to myself, and I'm like, not trying to treat like an elder, but like when I'm older, what would I tell myself being like, I wish you didn't do so much of that?
Okay. Oh, you mean like looking back?
Yeah. Because I'm always so conscious of like, what am I doing wrong that my older self is going to get mad at?
Oh.
Or being like, oh, you shouldn't have spent time on that. So I can like not do it.
Sure. I mean, I never look back on worrying with any nostalgia. So, and I'm a huge worrier, but I was talking about this in therapy today, about how right now I've been like embracing more time off.
Yes.
Because I had like a very, very hectic touring time.
Yes. You were gone like every week.
It was a lot. And you know, because you watch my dad on Find Friends. And so
screenshot it and everything.
I know. It's really so fun. That I open.
You did.
Okay, not TikTok, but Find Friends.
You got me hooked up on Find Friends.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like I go on social media because I'm a voyeur. If I could have binoculars and a straight shot to your house, I would be doing. I would, except if birds were doing anything interesting, or if I knew their names, or if there were. Well, I don't really care. I was going to say if there were celebrity birds.
If they're going to do any entry, you look into my house. I'm going between Netflix and Hulu and Paramount Plus to see what I want to watch.
Yeah. Wow, you have Paramount Plus as well.
Well, somebody else's account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Mark.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for nothing. Okay, so
Yeah, magic mushrooms or whatever you did.
Well, no, but just on the watching for a sec.
Yeah.
So, but that I am drawn to. Like, that's my original addiction, is just stalking.
Yeah.
In some, not the legal definition of stalking, but I have looked it up.
Yeah.
Because I come close enough to it that I'm like, well,
This is why you should live in the
sure.
city. You could do so
I know.
much stalking. You just look outside your window and
Right.
you literally see into like different people's homes, and they're all doing different things.
I know.
I've seen people arguing. I've seen people do some of like the nasty, or I'm sure
really?
to them it wasn't nasty. It was to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they were doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, just like not coordinated?
It was just like it was like at one point, like face was up against the window.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was quite intense. I mean, like
right up?
Yeah, right up. Like
that's like when I pick up Eloise.
The thing
I mean, thank God, God forbid.
The thing is, they wanted to be looked at because everything was wide open. Like, so they're putting on a show, and I was a watcher.
And isn't that the worst? I think that's the reason maybe that like social media is a little less satisfying for me, is because it's people who want you to watch them, whereas I just want to catch you.
Yeah, security cam footage. We talked about
exactly.
this.
But I'm saying, like, so the Find Friends, I mean, I have about 15 people on my Find Friends. Yeah.
Leaderboard, you're number one.
Yeah.
And she keeps track on all of them.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you are in a bad situation, I'm going to know.
Not do a single thing about it.
No. Are you
know.
kidding? No, I would. I 100% would. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I have before.
You have?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, I've seen someone, I'm like, why are they there? And then, not that I could like literally do something about it, but like, yeah, I did find something out because of that. Yeah. I mean, it was sad, less juicy, but yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Sometimes when I know I'm in a place I shouldn't be, I'm like, should I turn off my Find Friends?
Right.
And then I forget about it.
Oh, where are you? I don't know that I've ever.
Just, certain places here or there.
Now I'm going to like look more often. Well, because you go between work, home, and the gym.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's
sometimes,
like your
shows and stuff like that.
Right. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like
wherever.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them.
Why is Alberto in this basement?
I know. Well, that's sometimes I'm like, because a lot of my friends on Find Friends are home. People are home a lot of the time. I've learned based on my research. And so, I mean, it's not a perfect, like, sample size or whatever, but I
you connect the
go
dots.
to it. Yeah, I do. Literally. So but sometimes when someone's at home, I'm like, yeah, but where? Like, where in your home are you?
Yeah.
And there was a time my mother was like, something about like her dot was sort of in the yard as opposed to more in the house. And I know the difference because I know, but sometimes I think it just moves, a little bit. Yeah. And so I'm like, Mommy, what are you doing? She's like, I'm literally home, you freak, but whatever.
She sends you the best messages that
she
you
does.
Post on it.
Instagram. I know. I mean, the whole chat with my mom is really something. But wait, there are a couple of threads that I feel like we didn't finish.
Oh, worrying. You never were.
Regretting.
Yeah, regretting.
Things, yeah. So worrying. Oh, and the thing I was talking about in therapy is just that, I'm embracing more time off. And the thing about having time off, at least for me, I'm like, what do I do with a day off? I plan my non-days off.
Of course.
I make lists of things to do. That's like literally like.
You need to feel efficient or else it's a freaking way. Like literally this Sunday, Bob and I were like, where did the day go? Like, what did we do?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, if you have nothing planned, then it just goes by. And I guess there's this need to always feel efficient or something like that. At least for me.
Yeah, me too. Totally. Yeah. So, but I think that like any worrying, just doesn't help. And I mean, I don't regret doing drugs at all, and I've wanted to talk about this more in like a stage way.
Let's talk about it now. Cause I have thoughts.
Oh, you regret it?
No, I want to hear you.
Okay. Because I'm sober. I have been for a while, like, what is it? 7 years, something like that.
Me too.
So, fine. And I'm totally sober, which I say just so that we're clear. I mean, Magic Mind, okay.
But that's just like...
I take a statin. I take Zysel at night.
I have no idea what any of that is.
Okay, a statin is for cholesterol.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, my doctor's very proactive, okay? Nancy Simpkins, she's verified on Instagram. She's amazing. Okay. She's amazing. And so also like really practices what she preaches.
If somebody really listens to this whole podcast, they'll be able to understand all your healthcare providers.
Oh yeah, totally. I would be thrilled. I mean, I don't say my therapist's names because like, well, I don't know. I feel like even though HIPAA doesn't go both ways, I'm a full service patient. Yeah. Okay. I take on a rule if I think that it's the right thing to do. So
I like that.
Anyway, but Nancy, Dr. Simpkins, she's amazing and practices what she preaches because I have the Peloton app. You were talking about a leaderboard.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
I used to until they started charging me. I used to get it for free and then they started work.
Really?
Yeah. But then I don't work there anymore.
Oh.
But I did like the Peloton app because I liked it. Not for the Peloton, but all the other exercises that the Peloton app gives you.
Sure, yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, well, I was actually going to say Emma Lovewell before because about exercise. She's a Peloton instructor and she's amazing. But she used to say, and maybe, I mean, I imagine still does, but I've known her for a long time. And she would say, don't exercise because you hate your body, exercise because you love your body. And like, that was a real transformation for me in 2014, but short-lived relatively. I mean, I still take her classes on the Peloton, but yeah, I used to do live I love a live fitness experience.
And I love a live TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Like, but live is something because you're in the moment.
And it's just like, there was something about, I mean, I don't know if I'm not supposed to say that it was Soul Cycle, right? Not like I work there, but just like that's where I knew her from. But anyway, so there was something about a live Soul Cycle class with like the club lights and like everything. Did you ever go back in the day?
Oh, you mean that type of live?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like you live that you see them live in live.
No.
Oh no, I still do that now. I do a Barry's class. I love a Barry's class, and not just because whatever, but because then I don't have to think. Yeah. Oh my. Are you serious?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Like
great.
Yes, I'm like looking for somebody to go with because my
really?
old Barry's person and I don't longer talk, and so like whatever. Things happen in life.
Got it.
Shout out to them. But yeah, I'm always looking for somebody new.
Okay.
So let's do it.
And I'm new?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you mean the instructor?
No. I mean like my friend. Well, whatever they are now. But yeah. So I would love a new Barry's like person.
What day do you go?
Any day you need.
No. But like
usually Wednesdays are my cardio days and we have to do a lot of cardio. But I'm very flexible.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
All right.
I can move it to Thursday. I can move it to a Friday.
Okay.
I can move it to a Saturday morning. Like I can move.
Okay.
I can move it to a Monday. I can move it to a Tuesday. I can move it.
This is helpful because you know me. I love an every this of the week.
Yes.
That's like, I live for that.
Well, you like structure.
I really like structure because my whole head is crazy.
I get it.
Except when Magic Mind is in there.
I need to try this.
It's
Can we
good.
both be on it?
We need to send them the whole episode because it's like, listen, you could have podcasters who are going to do a 30-second spot for you, or you could have a podcast where you are the undercurrent to the entire episode.
What would you like? Like, how many listeners do you have? You're like, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
Wait, but no, so you don't regret drugs?
No.
Okay.
Because first of all, I did drugs to learn about myself. Like that is
so white, Liz. I love you.
I know. Okay, fine. But like, and I'm going to unpack that a little bit because if by white, first of all, I'm white. Okay. But if by white you mean privileged, then you're no. It's fine because a person who doesn't have privilege arguably would be using drugs to escape a terrible life, right?
This is why I love your brain.
Oh, it's just the Magic Mind. So if we, and again, like we're assuming things, but I don't think they're crazy assumptions, right? Yeah. So, okay, I was not trying to escape my life. I wasn't trying to escape my brain. I mean, not to say that it was like 100%, flowers and rainbows to be in there, but I am privileged. You're 100% right. Yeah. And so the reason that I did any drug was like I wanted to like see the truth and touch the sun and like peel back onion layers of my consciousness and like get to something deeper. That's always what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I, was like, okay, I'll do this drug, cocaine. I'm not saying I'm not going to mention names, like whatever, mushroom, anything, and write about it. And I want to.
Never heard of these, by the way.
I want to know what I'm like on this, and I would like take videos, like on the photo booth on my. First of all, I would do that.
Yourself like a freaking science experiment.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think it was like a lot of weed or some drug that made me like out of it.
Liz.
That basically I had the photo booth on, and then I just forgot, and like it's a 9-hour video or something crazy. But anyway, everything was like 40 minutes. I'm like, I definitely don't need this. But anyway, my therapist, okay, her fake name is Dr. Weisberg. Okay, but that's not her name.
We figured that when you said fake name.
That's the only way I could do fake names is just like, listen, this is not the real name.
You have to be very honest.
I know. So anyway, so she, and this was back in 20, let's say 15, 16, something like that. Okay. And by the way, to your point about too much therapy, maybe, but this woman knows me.
Yeah.
And that's why I go. She's got a PhD in me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whatever. Okay. But she's
cast
also
her all over again. God forbid.
Yeah, I know. I have. I've tried.
Yeah.
Over the when I was living in LA, some weird guy
still come
literally
back. She's like, she'll be back.
Oh yeah, she supports it. That's the thing. That's like she's
not
such
an open relationship with your therapist.
Yeah, I know. But the other guy was terrible. So anyway,
guys usually are.
Yeah, but okay. So she said to me, and this was like probably the way I got sober.
Yeah.
Because I was telling her about, oh, well, I did mushrooms or I did this or that or whatever. And she's like, I'm just going to put this out there. You don't have to like do the drugs again in order to learn the lessons that you're saying you want to learn, because you do have memory and you're able to like remember the time you did it last time and what you wrote about it and the video you took or whatever. And why do you have to like go back to the drug again?
Yeah.
And the thing is that it was so life-changing for me because I was like, obviously she's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what lie am I telling myself that's just addiction that keeps me to go back to the drug when I'm saying I want to learn something?
I hope somebody who has a drug problem can hear this now.
Yeah.
Because you just solved it for them.
Maybe. I mean,
but she's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
Right.
Because the times that I've been influenced, and I learned, actually that feeling, does come back. Yeah. You do have moments where you feel that feeling without the enhancement needed.
Oh yeah. Well,
and so it does teach you a lot. Like I'll say this.
Yeah.
I was like very depressed.
Okay.
Probably the most depressed I've been, right, in my short life or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like in it, whatever. And like, just, you and I had talked about it before. And then I went to my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
And in my brother's wedding, I got smashed, just drunk off my ass, right? Like to a point where I was like puking or whatever like that. But I was like dancing, and like I asked the DJ to go play Britney in a fucking Mexican wedding. You see, literally was the only person on the dance floor because who's dancing to Britney?
I wish it was
besides me.
For real. And I wish just for like a funny thing that it was a mariachi band instead of a DJ.
Hit me, baby. And like it was. I literally woke up the next day, and I'm not even trying to exaggerate.
Yeah.
It cured my deep depression in the sense of I, for the first time in a long time, through that drunkenness and dancing and of course Britney, I felt my mind was here and my body was here.
Sure.
And I wasn't in my mind. I was feeling myself.
Right.
And it felt free. It felt like I could breathe again. And I'm not saying I don't experience moments and things like that. What I'm saying is that I was like, oh, I remember.
Totally.
It was great. I 100% recommend somebody to get drunk and listen to Britney Spears.
Yes. Yeah. If you need a prescription, let us know. And I'll get one of my therapists to do it.
Cazadores.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Tequila.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
But wait, you're reminding me too that my therapist also said, she's like, drugs basically like are a controlled experiment of your mind, because they're basically saying, okay, let's take this down, let's turn this up. And she's like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. It's just that when...
that's a great way of putting it.
Right. I thought so too. It's when the drug becomes like your personality, which unfortunately drugs, alcohol, whatever.
It's a fine ass line.
It does, because there's so much like the next day, and then how do you prep, and you know what I mean? Like, even if you're not doing it consciously, that there's so much that goes into it in terms of like recovering from.
The recovery is the hard part. Yeah.
But I totally agree with you about like, okay, so you saw yourself at your brother's wedding and you're like, I can be this way.
It was like, oh, I woke up the next day happy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this feeling? And then I was just like, well, and then I thought about it, like, why? And I mean, a lot of things played the night before and that. Like, I had a great conversation with Bob and we talked about it. And then that happened. And then I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I felt like not so much pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that was great. I was just like,
Well, one of the things that people say in AA is that the drug starts out as a solution. Like, it doesn't
always
start...
a solution. That's what I heard too on TikTok. Yeah. Shout out to TikTok.
Oh,
again,
right.
Somebody said that like the drug, it's never about... The drug is not... It's trying to solve something.
Correct. And so in itself, the drug isn't a problem. It's just that it becomes a problem sort of inevitably and invariably. And so because that's the case, then that's really the element of it that's problematic, not it itself. Yeah. And so, through that, I mean, that's really how I got sober, was just kind of like recognizing that. You know, like I went to AA, but AA really wasn't for me anyway. Nothing wrong with AA, but like that wasn't how I got sober.
Yeah.
How I got sober was, I don't know, some mix of therapy, journaling, you know.
I love a journal.
I do.
I used to keep a journal and then I never did, but you're very adamant about it.
Well, no, it's also that I go to 750words.com.
Yes.
And
shout out to them.
Yeah. Not that,
but
I mean,
if everyone could just sponsor us that you use, your life would be much cheaper.
Well, they're probably reading my diary. That's the thing, because it's like this...
Punching up the jokes that you put in there.
I would welcome it. Listen.
That's what I told my people on my live. I was like...
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go on live once a week, again, to the 3 people. And I was like, and I'm going to practice new jokes on here.
Oh, good.
And I'll keep this commitment.
Sure.
And I was like, and if you come up with better punchlines to my new joke, I will then do it on stage, record it, post it, and give you credit.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Think that's fun?
I think that's great.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful because, like, you know... The idea of like, oh, I'm such, you know, I do everything myself. Like, who even cares?
Ugh,
you know,
just like my librarian, it's a community effort.
It is
to get one thing out. I'm glad that today we discussed breaking down the usage of drugs in a very pro but cautious way. Yeah.
Well, and that's something that I've never really, like, it's something that it's so a part of my sobriety, but it's not something that I really ever talk about. The one detail, thank you for bringing me back to that I wanted to talk about is like, I have these like drug stories, but they're also positive. You know, not that drugs never were problematic for me, but they were more problematic for me, honestly, in like the moment I wake up and I'm like, ugh, my throat hurts from smoking a cigarette last night when I was drunk, or ugh, I feel hungover, or something like that. Like those were the moments that it felt bad.
The next day.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, you know, I mean, there was a time that I threw up because I was drunk and it was like my friend's birthday party. That wasn't great.
No,
but like, okay, you know, like for the most part, we're talking those, you know, isolated incidents. But anyway, I remember I did MDMA, and I say MDMA, not Molly, because I allegedly, according to this guy, George, who like did the test in your bathroom where they mail you some pill and then you do it with like another pill, like to test the MDMA to make sure it's pure.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. He did that. He's like, it's the best. I'm like, okay. Oof. Like George, like everything about him was like, he only talked in a TED Talk kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so he gives me and a friend of mine this drug, the MDMA. Yeah. Best night ever. Okay. We went dancing. And like, I just remember looking at my phone and being like, this is irrelevant. Like, just like, who needs this thing?
You're
like,
just like in the moment and you're feeling everything, as I've heard.
Totally. Right. And like, I just remember like me and my friend, we looked at each other from across the room at one point and we just like knew it was time to leave. Like we didn't even have to talk about it. It's just like, whatever. But even though that was true, what was also true is we had another friend of ours that was with us who we forgot. And we're walking from this like warehouse in Bushwick to the
it's
G.
always a warehouse in Bushwick.
Exactly. In February to the G train. Okay. So it's like 20 minutes. It's very cold. And like maybe like 15 minutes into this 20-minute cold walk, we're almost at the train. I turned to my friend. I'm like, we forgot Marissa. And rather than having the moment of like, oh, fuck, we gotta, it was none of that. We're like, okay, well, we'll just go back and get her. And like, we went back and got her. We said to her face, we're like, sorry, we forgot you. And she was like, all right. And like, then we all just walked to the train. And it was such a pivotal like consciousness moment because thank God I was able to remember it because I'm like, oh, some stress is a choice.
Yeah.
A stress response, like, ugh, I have to be annoyed that like we have to walk another 15, 30 minutes in the cold. When we have coats, when we have like, we're fine.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We're in a group, like everything is okay for the most part, right?
Yeah.
We can acknowledge that and just like move on.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I'm not saying all stress is like this because like obviously like if there's God forbid an ice raid or God forbid a life and death situation of some kind, it's different.
Yeah. Stress is there in your life when you need it to be.
Yeah.
And we can talk about, because I think that's like a deeper conversation in that sense. But I think unneeded stress is regrettable.
Regrettable.
Yeah.
Regrettable.
That's what I like.
And so I don't regret drugs.
I don't regret your drugs either.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll even try one day. We'll see.
Well, good thing that I'm watching you on Fine Friends. You should tell me if you are, because I'm a good sober companion.
All right, I'll tell you. If I ever do.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Right.
All right.
Okay. I love you. Bye. Yeah, I had the best time.
Too.
Thank you.
This is a journey.
It is.
This is a big journey, but thank you for watching.
And listening to
Together We're Straight. Don't forget to subscribe and share and like with everybody. Comment.
Leave a 5-star review.
Please.
Send a gift certificate.
We should drop our Venmos.
Oh my God. Yeah, sure. At Liz-Glazer.
And at Hilberto S.
Okay. I'll take money. You want to send me money? You think I'm going to say no? No. Thank you.
Thank you
for the money.